Good morning. This is Megan Herbst with the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District with your conservation report for Saturday, April 30th. It is hard to believe that this is the last day of April, even though it has felt much like March or maybe even February. But nonetheless, today I did want to talk about a wonderful springtime learning competition that took place on April 19th at the Prairie Woods Environmental Learning Center in Spicer, and that is the Envirothon. Of course, we would have liked the weather to cooperate a little bit more. It was a little chilly that day, but we were just happy to be back in person because this is the first time that the event has been held in person since 2019. So it just felt good to be back at Prairie Woods and to be face-to-face with everybody, regardless of what the weather was like. The Envirothon is an annual competition for students in grades 6 through 12, and it really works to challenge their environmental skills and knowledge. Teams are made up of 5 students that compete at 6 different learning stations in the fields of aquatics, wildlife, soils, forestry, oral presentation, and also a current environmental issue. The stations are presented by natural resource professionals, and at each of the stations, teams need to complete a 25-question exam, and that is timed too, so it can be quite stressful for some of these kids. I actually had the pleasure of running the soil station this year with my coworker Tessa Z, and we were very impressed with the students' knowledge and their interest in environmental science. These are some very bright students, and they really showed a genuine interest in learning about the environment. And, as Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District employees, we participate in a lot of environmental education events. Mostly they're geared towards elementary age kids. And water festivals and those types of events are really great, and they reach a lot of students, but you always wonder how many of them are actually getting the message, that we're conveying at that age. And it's really great because the Envirothon is geared towards these older students that are already interested in these topics, and it's just wonderful to watch them challenge themselves and compete at these events. This year, we had only 14 teams from 4 different schools compete in our area Envirothon. That's about half of what we normally have. We normally would have close to 30 teams, and then 7 or 8 different schools competing. But area schools that did compete this year in the senior Envirothon included Sartell High School, St. John's Prep, and Osakis High School. And area schools that competed in the junior Envirothon included Sartell Middle School, Osakis Middle School, and Kirkhoven Murdoch Sunberg. So the senior Envirothon includes grades 9 through 12, and then the junior Envirothon includes grades 6 through 8. And there are 8 area competitions held throughout Minnesota, and then the top 3 teams from the senior Envirothon in each of those areas will go on to compete at the state Envirothon. And this year that's in Fergus Falls, and it'll be held in May. And then the top team from Minnesota from the state Envirothon will actually go on to compete at the national Envirothon. So it can be really quite an experience for these kids to get to that state level, and then maybe even nationals. The top 3 teams from this year's senior Envirothon were St. John's Prep taking first, Sartell High School taking second place, and Osakis High School coming in third. So good luck to all of those teams competing at the state Envirothon this May. And then finally, if there are any interested school teachers listening who would like to have their students compete in future Envirothons, we ask you to please contact the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District at 320-251-7800 extension 3. Again, that's the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District at 320-251-7800 extension 3. We're always looking to add more schools and more teams to this, exceptionally run annual event. We're disappointed that the numbers were down this year, but we really hope to rebound next year and the following years. We really want to keep this event going. So please reach out to us if you are interested in competing at the Envirothon. And that's about it for me. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend. This has been Megan Herbst with the Stearns County Soil and Water Conservation District with your conservation report.